Right here, I have a Chromebook that's actually been around for quite some time. It's the Acer 516 GE, if you're wondering. It's one of my favorites. It's one that I keep with me, but I bring it in this video because I'm going to use it with this that's underneath here. This is the new Casa Pop-Up Desk from Logitech, and this is a thing I think that's going to be super useful for a lot of people. It's basically what it says. It's a pop-up desk, keyboard, trackpad, laptop stand, all in one nice condensed package that you can use with all sorts of laptops, but obviously with Chromebooks too, because it works with Chromebook certified. That's upside down for Joe, so I'm going to turn that over. Works with Chromebook certified. I'm excited. We've been excited about this device, this set of accessories that comes in this. So without any further ado, let's pop this box open and see what the Casa Pop-Up Desk is all about. So let's hop in. I'm going to push the Chromebook over there. And the reason I picked the bigger Chromebook partially is just like, this is a device that I keep in my bag all the time. But I also want to know if this laptop stand is going to hold up to a 16-inch Chromebook. Because if it can handle this one, it can handle all the rest of them. So we're just going to put it in the fire right off the bat. Very nice. So open it up and you got this nice Logi band here and this whole my work, my life, my home thing that they've got going on with this. The idea is simple here. In one condensed package, you basically have the ability to pop up a desk. We did a video about this. I think we did 2 of them actually, about like having all of your work stuff to be able to set up kind of a desktop setup in a bag. One of them we did near the pandemic for obvious reasons. People were trying to figure out working from home because they were forced to. And then I think after that kind of evolved, we did another one where I'd kind of honed my setup and was trying to be better about working remote a little bit more often. I'm gonna be honest, that just didn't work out that much for me. We've got a pretty nice office, so I just come here to the office to work most times. I need to go work remote more often, and that's where this thing is gonna hopefully come in. Let's see, nothing else in this box. This is probably just pretty standard paperwork. Yeah, nothing else in there, but very nice packaging. I will say off the bat here, this is $179.99. It's available at Best Buy and through Logitech's website. And that is important because you need to think through this as 3 separate accessories. So if you're thinking of it as one accessory for $180, it's like, oh gosh, that's expensive. But we're getting a keyboard, we're getting a trackpad, we're getting a laptop stand, and we're getting the fact that they can all kind of settle into this one package that can slip into your bag or your backpack. So assuming that the keyboard and the trackpad are good, I think the price is fine. You know, a nice keyboard, if you're a keyboard aficionado and you're buying like a gaming keyboard, you're probably fine with spending a couple $100 on a keyboard. I think for most people, to get a nice keyboard with good travel and clickiness and all that kind of stuff, you know, $70 to $100 is probably within the realm of reason. And then a wireless trackpad, unless you're a MacBook user, there's not a whole lot of options. And I'm pretty sure the Magic Trackpad 2 is like $130 or something like that. So take that down a notch because it's not a bespoke item. This is made for Chromebooks, but it will work with Windows and everything too. You know, $60, $70, something like that for a nice glass trackpad, right? Feels pretty good. So now you're already up to what, $140, $150. And then a laptop stand, you're just not going to get a good laptop stand for less than $30 to $50 either. So when you put them together and then say, okay, these all work together to fit in this handsome little case, then I don't know. I think the price point makes a whole lot of sense. Again, assuming the keyboard and trackpad are good. So we're going to get into that here in just a second. But for the outside of this thing, it's think of like a hardbound book. It's what it looks like, right? I mean, you look at this thing, it looks like a book. That's kind of what they're going for. I'd imagine if you were at home and you were using this as a setup, you slide this on the shelf with some of your other books and stuff like that. Nobody would even know what this thing was. But conversely, it fits in a backpack, I would assume, pretty well. I'm gonna set it on top of this Chromebook here and say, like, this is it. This is everything I need to work remotely. And you may be asking, why do I need a laptop stand to work remotely? We'll get into that when we set the laptop stand up. We've covered that in different videos talking about laptop stands, but when we actually set it up, we will get into that stuff. So first up, it's like a rubber band almost. That's kind of cool. I thought this was going to be like elastic. So that's actually good because you're going to be popping this thing off and on a lot. So the fact that it is like a rubberized material, that's good. I guess she would go underneath like this. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah. So bonus. This is, again, I feel like this is going to be a thoughtful thing. At first, when I flipped this over here, I thought, well, it's going to offset it, but it doesn't. Actually, on a smooth surface like this, it gives it a rubbery grip. So, I mean, that thing is locked into place. Let's see. Yeah, you could even do that number right there with it if you were somewhere you didn't want that. So I kind of just wrapped it around there. It tucked in nice and tight. Now, obviously, it slides now. I don't want that, so I'm going to go with the under method. That's what I'm going to call it. All right, so open it up. This is obviously the laptop stand part. A nice padding there for your device. Here we go. Here's a little bit of walkthrough about what to do with all this stuff. I'm guessing that QR code probably has a video to walk you through this stuff. Yeah, keyboard. Oh, look. So this is going to be magnetized. We'll try that out here in a second. Turn it on and hook it up. You know, pretty straightforward. So first up, we've got this compartment here. And so it looks like, yeah, C2C charger. I think both of these devices. So this does not come with the Logitech dongle. I freely assume that it would, because I know that they can deal with drivers and all that kind of stuff a little bit better with their own silicon on that little dongle. These are actually Bluetooth, and so the fact that it works with Chromebook and it's Bluetooth is pretty impressive. That means they've done their homework to make sure everything's compatible, but this will charge up the accessories. If they're like any other accessories, you know, you charge it once for maybe a couple months, come back later. But the idea being that you got some spot here to put, you know, I don't know what else you'd put in there. What, like some gum, toothpick? I don't know if a pen's going to fit in there. I don't have a pen around. If you had a small USI pen, you know, it'd fit in there. Let's see. There we go. So that's, Logi. Look at that. Grab that right out. Logi pen. Oh, womp, womp, womp. Not quite. So yeah, it'd have to be like a weird small USI pen. I bet you this one will. Which one's this? This is the HP. Fits right in there. So I don't know, a handful of other accessories. So it's kind of cool if they provided that. It's like, well, we don't have anything else. What else are they going to give you in this spot? And then the other two spots, obviously, keyboard and trackpad here. So I'm not going to lie, the thing I'm most excited about here is the trackpad. So I'm gonna bust into it first. And here's why I'm so excited about this. We don't have a trackpad that's made for Chromebooks. That's not a thing. It's never been a thing. Bridge tried it a few years back. And then since there's no wireless trackpads for Windows, really, that you can buy, there's just not been much. Logitech made a T650 trackpad years ago. It's worked with Chromebooks. It used to be something I used. I sold it off to a friend that needed it. And since then, the Apple Magic Trackpad's been the only solution, and it's just been kind of iffy. And so this is a works with Chromebook wireless trackpad. So I wouldn't say anybody needs to go spend $180 on a wireless trackpad for your Chromebook, but if the rest of this is compelling and you've been interested in a trackpad, then this is an option. So all glass on the top, all plastic down here. It looks like we got a multi-switch here. We might have to charge this, so we might have to break away and give this guy a little bit of juice, because there's some LED lights down there. Logitech generally gives you three options to connect with Bluetooth to like 3 devices. So we'll cut away here in a second and charge this stuff up. But nice etched glass. This feels really great. And look at this. So I think we'd read something about this. Other than haptic trackpads, this is not something we see very often, which is the ability to click anywhere on this thing. How's this happening? I don't actually know what's going on here. Maybe there's like multiple springs, or I don't know. Usually trackpads, it's basically there's a hinge on the back and then a click mechanism up front, and you click it. It's kind of like a diving board kind of deal. Not the case here. So this can be sitting there and you can just be moving around and click wherever you want. Ostensibly, it works with Chromebook, so it should work with all of our gestures and stuff. We're going to test that here in just a second. But yeah, this thing feels great. The glass feels really high quality. It reminds me of the T650. But yeah, that's great. Like I said, we'll need to probably juice that up a little bit. And then we got the keyboard. And this is another big question. So for $180 accessory, obviously we need to make sure that the trackpad's good and the keyboard needs to be good. This doesn't need to feel like a cheap keyboard. So Casa Keys. Here we go. Oh, that's a good keyframe. Pretty quiet, but ooh, so clicky. I wish there was a way I could like show you all how clicky. Oh, that feels so good. let's see what kind of keys we got here. So you've got the Chromebook. They got Start, obviously for Windows, but you got the Chromebook circle there, so we're represented. So that's going to be your Start key. In Chrome OS, if you want, you could remap this guy because you can remap keys. You can remap this to your everything key. For me, that's pretty important because I have habit of using it all the time. But then, your basic smattering of keys. And they obviously had to go kind of down the middle with their function keys up here. So it looks like, I'd be guessing, that looks like an emoji key. They've had that on some of their other keyboards. There's a screen capture key, so we'll see if those kind of things work. Volume up and down, some of that stuff. So you're not going to get the Chrome OS function keys up here, so you need to know that going in. But overall, nice and rigid. That feels really good. Same thing. It doesn't look like this one's multimodal though. Oh yeah, it's on the keyboard. So there's 3 LEDs there. So same way, you could pair up between the two. You could pair it up to 3 different devices if you wanted to do that. But most importantly to me was, does this feel like a keyboard I want to type on? And 100%, man, this thing feels fantastic. I love that. And so last but not least, you got the case that holds all this stuff. And as we saw on that thing, it's magnetic. Oh yeah, I mean, it's not a super tough magnet. I wouldn't pick the whole thing up that way, but it does. It just kind of clicks into place there. And then, as you can see on the side, once you put some weight on there, it's going to push it against that. Done deal. Let's see if it can hold it. Bring this around. Drop that in there. No problem. Thing's not going anywhere. Very nice. And since it's sitting right here, I'm assuming this shot okay? This worked? Bring my brightness up at least a little bit. So I'd said earlier, I'm going to talk about why this matters. Because a lot of people look at laptop stands and it's like, well, what's the point of doing that? Like, why not just leave the laptop down and just work on it? So I'm going to show you the difference in posture. So if I set this before me, when my hand goes to touch the trackpad, I'm like this, okay? Try to get this for Joe over here. So if I'm squared up, I'm here every time I go to the trackpad. You don't think about it too much, but you're like this all the time versus having something out here that's a lot more neutral on your wrist. Secondly, if I'm here working, even with this big Chromebook, my overall posture is going to tend to be this. And you can probably tell pretty quickly this versus this is no good. And so what this allows, this Casa Pop-Up, is, carefully move it. I got that sticky foot going down. So now if I've got this in front of me and I'm typing, and I look over, this thing's pretty close to eye level. So it's just going to encourage me to sit up in my chair and use my whole setup here in a much more ergonomic way. And so let's break real quick. I'm going to put some battery on these things, make sure that they're charged up and turned on and all that good stuff. And then we will get them hooked up and test a couple things. We'll test these function keys, see what works. We'll test to make sure our different multi-finger gestures work on the trackpad. And and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so we got everything on and set up. Funny story, we got into this Chromebook. I had it in the beta channel, and for some reason, the trackpad would connect, but the mouse wouldn't move. So had to then go and get this thing into the normal stable channel where you should stay if you want things to work properly, and realized that earlier in the video when I was trying to get this LED light to pop on, I'm going to do this and hopefully, you can see it down there now. I didn't actually have the thing turned on. I thought that I did, but I didn't. So obviously on-off switch is on the back, and then you can go into your pairing mode. So with each of these, if you click it to select it and then you hold it to go into pairing mode. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to disrupt what I've got going on here. And I'm going to try to kind of talk with this over my shoulder, but you can see obviously the mouse is working. So we're going to open up just a Chrome window so I can just show you all of the different gestures here. So we've got tabs open, so 3-finger tab swiping works just fine. 3-finger tab or swipe up to multitask works just fine. Let's do a desk. So you can see that as well. 4-finger swiping works just fine. Obviously, let's go, we'll go to the web store. 2-finger scroll works fine. Pinch to zoom works fine. Everything works fine is what I'm trying to get at here. So all the same features that you would have on your built-in trackpad work just fine here. And it's working over Bluetooth. And there's no perceptible lag here. And it feels great. I obviously had to navigate around a little bit with this thing off camera before, and yeah, this is 100% workable. This feels great. I love this trackpad. This is really cool, and I don't have to look down at it to make sure my hands are staying in the right place. So if I want to click and my hand happens to be up here at the top of the trackpad, it's no problem. It's not like there's any extra effort involved in clicking anywhere on this trackpad. So it's really cool design there. And then obviously the keyboard works just fine. Hello, YouTube. Feels great to type on. So as I was kind of getting re-signed in from the power wash I had to do here, yeah, that stuff all worked. And as I said with the function keys here, so you've got a smiley there on F4. If I hit that, the emoji picker comes up, which is, I guess, interesting to have. I don't use emojis that often. This one is a dictation button, so it's a little like person with like waves on its face. So you can turn dictation on, and you've got a dedicated dictation button. And we've talked about dictation on Chromebooks before in different videos. It's fantastic. It just works really well. If you just want to be able to talk and send an email with your voice, now you got a button if you've got one of these. F6 here, you can see like there's like a little camera on it. It just brings up the screenshot button, which is awesome. Then you've got play, pause, fast forward are going to work exactly like you think. You've got a mute button, so you can see that's working there. Volume up, volume down, work as expected. And then we've actually got a mic mute switch here all the way on the insert key. And you can see that's working as well. So handy in a meeting or something like that. If you just need to mute that mic, click that button, no big deal. And then you've got a dedicated delete key. It should be function, yeah, so you can use that as your lock as well. So, I mean, other than that, it's a standard keyboard and a standard trackpad. But now, with this setup, as we talked about earlier, you're nice and ergonomically set. You've got a great keyboard, even if the Chromebook you happen to buy didn't come with a great keyboard. And you got a great trackpad, even if the Chromebook you bought didn't really come with a great trackpad. You've got these now, and you've got this laptop stand that gets you sitting up nice and straight and tall and working. You know, if you're going to be in front of the screen for a few hours at a time, this is a really handy tool. I don't know how often this is going to go on sale. This thing just came out. It's just become available. But I think at $180, if you were to price out, you can't find this. This isn't a thing anywhere else, and it's never been a thing as long as we've covered Chromebooks. So that probably drives up its price a little bit. But, you know, if you get a keyboard this good, I mean, you're probably going to have to get in like the MX range to get a keyboard that feels as good. This thing is fantastic. I'm really happy to type on this. And then a keyboard stand, and then a place to put all that stuff, or I'm sorry, a laptop stand, and a place to put all that stuff. Like, you're going to spend this amount of money or more to do it, and then it's all going to be disparate stuff that doesn't go together, and you got to find a place to put it in and all that stuff. But instead, what you could do is buy this guy and break this thing down when you're done working. And then, you know, put it on the shelf or drop it in your bag, and your whole desktop is kind of taken care of. I like this thing a lot. Obviously, I haven't used it very often, and the cool part is we're just about done reviewing Chromebook Pluses, and this is the first unboxing type video we've done in forever because there's just not been a lot of new Chromebooks, and this is a device that I can't wait to actually start using at the desk to kind of have a Chromebook up near my monitor and have this keyboard and trackpad out on the desk, at least for a little bit until some new Chromebooks show up that I've got to start reviewing. But I'm almost done with that reviewing process, and I'm very excited to replace reviewing Chromebooks with spending a little bit of time with this Logitech Casa Pop-Up Desk. But guys, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to ring the notification icon as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Until next time, we'll see you.